I have some great news for long-term smokers. The belief that it is harder to quit smoking after 20 or 30, 40, 50 years is simply not true. It's false. Look, I know it may seem like the longer that you smoke, the harder it is to put behind you. But why do studies show that most people usually try 10, 20 or more times to quit and fail before they are actually successful? In this video, I'm going to bust the 5 main myths that keep most smokers from taking action and becoming free once and for all. And I'm also going to offer you a free seat in my online masterclass called How to Stop Smoking Without Withdrawal, Cravings, or Weight Gain. Just sign up below. My name is Rita Black. I am a leading smoking cessation expert and clinical hypnotherapist, but also a former pack and a half a day smoker, and I smoked for years. And most of my clients in my practice or students in my online course, Smoke Free 123, have smoked for 3 decades or more. But they are delighted and super excited to find out that quitting smoking is easy when their minds are in the right place. Here's a secret that I know after having helped over 10,000 people become happy, healthy non-smokers. The key to quitting easily is 1, to be ready to put smoking behind you once and for all. 2, believe you can do it. And 3, be ready to take action. And what I'd like to do now is share these 5 myths that keep most people who have smoked for a long time from even trying to stop, and to get you to believe you can do it so that you can take action. Sound good? Let's do it. Okay, myth number 1. I am too addicted to nicotine. Many people really fear or believe that they're super addicted to nicotine. Now, here's the thing, you probably are. But the fact that you are addicted to nicotine shouldn't keep you from stopping smoking successfully. In fact, the physical withdrawal from nicotine for most people is pretty mild. There are 2 words that really drive a lot of fear in people, and these words are perpetuated by the tobacco industry and by the nicotine replacement industry, and they're usually the same companies. You know, here's your tobacco, and then here's your nicotine replacement product. And those 2 words are addiction and withdrawal. See, addiction really makes us feel powerless. It makes us feel like, oh, I'm too addicted, I can't do this. And withdrawal is a very scary word. When we hear that word withdrawal, we think of heroin withdrawal. We think of like sweating and convulsing, and that it's too hard, that it's going to be physically so uncomfortable. But the fact of the matter is, the moment that you put out a cigarette or put your e-cigarette down, you begin withdrawing from nicotine. And most people can go through the night, sleep through the night just fine without any physical discomfort. Many people, many of my clients who are super heavy smokers can get on planes and go to Europe or Asia and be fine. Of course, they think about smoking, but it isn't until they know the plane is landing that they become very agitated. That agitation doesn't come from physical withdrawal from nicotine. It comes from a mental idea that they know the plane is landing and they're going to be able to smoke soon. So the actual physical withdrawal from nicotine for most people is fairly mild, and yet we buy into this idea we're fine until we know we're quitting smoking, and then we become very fearful. The reason why I can really say this with a lot of conviction to you is, think about it in your own life, and especially those of you who have smoked for a long time. You know this, and this is why it's actually easier for you, because you've got this evidence. You've probably quit smoking and gone for 48 hours or longer, which is the actual physical withdrawal from nicotine. And you still craved cigarettes. You still felt physical, felt that physical agitation after 48 hours. Well, that wasn't nicotine withdrawal. That was mental. And the same thing with wearing a patch or chewing the gum. A lot of times people still crave cigarettes, crave wanting to smoke, even though they're getting all the nicotine they need in their system. So I want to dispel this because I think this is going to be very powerful for you to understand and to start to put that fear behind you so that you can move forward. The second one is that we believe that cigarettes or e-cigarettes or our vape or what have you is our friend. And you know what? Guess what? Our brain puts our cigarettes and our vape in the same place as our friends and our family. Did you know that? So we do have our pack knocking around in our brain as a friend in our mind. And so I want to give you a little coaching about that. I want you to realize that why it's great that you have smoked for as long as you have is that you are kind of over this relationship. You know what I mean? Like when we're in the early throes of a relationship, it's super romantic and hot and fun. Or when we're first with our friends, it's so fun. But you know those toxic friends that hang around too long, or when a relationship starts to go sour? Well, that's the relationship we now have with cigarettes. And most long-term smokers have a love-hate. You know, they're like, why am I doing this? This is disgusting. But a part of their older brain still is stuck in the romance stage, even though currently it's no good anymore. You know, imagine being with somebody who every day says, give me your money and I'm not going to pay you back, which is what smoking does, right? And, you know, beats you up a little bit, makes you feel physically bad, right? It's kind of an abusive relationship. And also, you know, it's like, hey, everybody in here is having a conversation, but let's go outside and be cold. Or, you know, you can't live without me. So I want you to start to put that relationship in a different place in your brain, because it does exist in your brain, but it can move from being a friend to an enemy really quickly when you start to think of it that way. Here's another myth. I failed too many times. I've done it. And I tried and it was too hard and I was too weak. I wasn't disciplined enough. Look, when your mind is in the right place, it can be easy for you to stop smoking. And I don't care how many times you have failed before. We cannot look to our past to predict our future. When you believe in yourself, see, what you've been doing is looking to your past to collect evidence that you're incapable of quitting. So you'll head into your quitting event with a lot of negative belief in yourself. You need to believe in yourself 100%. And when you do, you can stop easily. So start to look to your future and what you want and who you want to be, rather than to your past, like, I can't do it because I've done it before. Like I said, studies show that many people try and fail 10, 20 times before they're finally successful. But it takes that belief to really move forward powerfully. So believe in yourself. You can do this. Okay, here's a huge one. The damage has been done. If you've been smoking for, especially 30, 40, 50 years, I have many clients who, come to me and they already have health issues. And here is the thing that's really important to understand. And I've had many clients say to me, I am not here for my health. I'm here because I don't want to be owned by cigarettes. Like, I don't want to die being owned by cigarettes. And even if you've had some health effects, and maybe you haven't had any health effects, but you think, I've smoked so long, obviously I've done some damage. The thing is, it doesn't matter if you have a year, 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, 50 years left to your life. We don't know. But what we do know is that by becoming a non-smoker, you're going to breathe easier. So your quality of life is going to be better. You are going to have more money in your pocket. So therefore, the quality of your life is going to be better. But most of all, and I kind of put this at the head of everything for everyone, is that your relationship with yourself will be better, because you'll be proud of yourself and you will believe in yourself. Every time we smoke, we say, I believe in the cigarette more than I believe in me. I believe I need the cigarette in order to wake up. I need the cigarette in order to drive. I need the cigarette in order to finish a meal. That's simply not true. So for me, and where I focus most people, is really looking at how becoming a non-smoker is really going to change their life, because they're going to be more confident. They're going to be free. And and like I said, every single day is a blessing. And if we can really enjoy our time and be with the people we love and be, out in the world doing what we want to do, free and easy, that's far more powerful than being stuck with our cigarettes, believing that they are what is helping us. No, you have the power. They do not have the power. Okay, one last thing. Here's another thing that I hear all the time. It's who I am. It's who I am. I'm just a smoker. It's who I am. I don't know anything else. So I want to have a little sit down with you. And I just want to say, smoking may be one of the identities that you have currently. But there are many, many other parts to you, powerful parts to you, that you probably resonate with more. Smoking is a small part of your brain, and there's a whole other you there. But the problem with smoking, it's kind of like a parasite, and it keeps you from being your best you. There's probably things you love, like your family or your community, or maybe you're into something like gardening or knitting or animals or changing the world. Whatever that thing is, that's really you. That's your passion. That's who you are. But smoking kind of pulls us back from that. It keeps us from fully expressing ourselves because, like I said earlier, smoking then keeps us from believing in ourselves 100% because we give the cigarettes so much credit or our vape so much credit. So when you really believe and focus on who you truly are and what you want to be out in the world, it's way, way bigger and bolder and more courageous than being a smoker. So even though it might be a small identity within all of your identities, that identity can change to somebody who is smoke-free pretty quickly when you make that decision. But you have to make that decision. Now, I want to invite you again to join me in my free masterclass. It's online. It's super easy. You can do it from home. You can do it in your own time frame. But it's called How to Quit Smoking Without Withdrawal, Cravings, or Weight Gain. So we've covered some things, and hopefully we've broken up a lot of those beliefs in your mind that have kept you from struggling, kept you struggling or keeping you from even trying to stop. And now I'd love for you to come to the masterclass and learn some really 3 fundamental mental shifts that you can make to really take action and become a happy, healthy non-smoker. So I hope to see you in class. Have an awesome day. I hope busting up these 5 myths, you can do it. It doesn't matter if it's been 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Man, I've had people 80 years plus become non-smokers, and it's been the best thing that they ever did in their lives. It's never too late. You can do this.